The quote from the book is powerful on how we should truly change the educational experience for students, and it applies to all learners, especially our adult learners. Blended learning is the mode in which education can change and allows for students of all ages to take control of their learning. And it truly allows the flexibility for time, pace, path, or place for which students learn. This is what we're going to take a look at as applied to teacher development at a school. The use of blended learning while applying the UDL framework ensures that the needs of all learners are met in order to maximize growth. School leaders who are able to leverage blended learning and UDL during the delivery of information really allows them to account for the differences amongst staff experiences, interests, and abilities. UDL allows for you to still clearly articulate the school improvement goals and expectations while allowing for a variety of ways for teachers to meet those goals. Ultimately, the goal of learning for all ages is that you are empowering your staff to be expert learners. Through this process, you are honoring each staff member and developing each individual and collective efficacy. What else could you ask for? Well, yeah, how do you accomplish this? Before you get started, you need to consider some of these aspects in your design of your blended learning experience. Many districts have approved apps and websites that can be used. Make sure you stick with this approved list, as whatever you do with teachers, you want to make sure they're able to replicate with their students. The technology initiatives of the district. Please keep in mind that there are some new products that might be coming your way in the fall, especially with ESSER's funds. Are there new devices, new subscriptions to web tools to consider? These might be a wonderful way to introduce new topics and the new technology to your staff. In addition, what is your school doing? What is your school's instructional technology goals and trainings that have already occurred in your building? If you trained your staff on the SAMR model or anything else, make sure you tie that in so they see your practices all as one and not as something separate. I would take a clear dive through the staff's understanding and comfort with technology. Make sure you are planning a variety of tech and non-tech activities and scaffold the experience for lower ability or lower tech comfortable staff. And be sure to leverage your tech leaders. Including videos, how-to videos on basic access and navigation of tools will help scaffold and also save time. Reviewing your staff's technology or instructional technology goals, if that is a part of your process in your buildings, make sure you take a look at that, review it when you're moving forward, and engage those teachers and tie their goals to what you are doing. And lastly, making sure that you're keeping track of time. Blended learning does allow for flexibility with time, pace, path, or place, but time is not flexible. Making sure you're looking at the district or master agreement and the videos that you're providing, the activities that you're having your staff do, fall within the timelines that you are allowed to engage your staff in learning. Tying it all together, you really need to get back to the goal of professional learning, and that is individual growth. The one-size-fits-all sit-and-get performance of professional development does not work for all. Blended learning does allow for the consideration of learner variability by providing multiple options and means for learning to occur for teachers. Clarifying and communicating that school improvement goal, having that firm goal but a flexible way for staff to get there, and acknowledging their professionalism, their professional growth. That method for self-assessment allows them to acknowledge where they currently are in meeting that school improvement goal, and then how they can progress towards that goal. Selecting their goal and how they plan to meet that goal while providing them support and regular discussion really empowers that learner to become an expert learner, purposeful, motivated, resourceful, knowledgeable, and strategic and goal-directed, through providing regular reflection and connection through communities and practice within your building. What does a specific example of this look like? Well, let's take a look. Here's a quick example to talk through this process. School improvement focus. An example would be your school building's focus is to improve student engagement through a variety of instructional strategies. Sharing with staff a framework that they can self-assess and measure where they currently are in student engagement. Using the Danielson or Marzano framework really helps them utilize a tool that they are used to be evaluated on, allows them to self-reflect, and this is where I currently am in this domain of student engagement, and then taking a look at, okay, this is where I am, this is where I want to be. That allows them to select their goal and truly figure out where they want to focus in that school year. And then, of course, regular reflection throughout. After clearly articulating your goal of increasing student engagement, having that staff member dig into Danielson framework, identifying the section, the domain and the component and the element that really spoke to them. Then in that page, having them highlight and identify where they currently are. This teacher identified themselves as being basic, and their goal was to move to proficient by the end of the year. This made the goal measurable and then also provided suggestions for growth and improvement on the rubric. How then did we provide supports and multiple ways for the staff member to meet that goal? We created a page where team members wrote out their professional goal, moving from proficient to distinguished in this example. We provided a variety of different resources in OneNote notebook, videos, professional book library, different links and whatnot, and we allowed teachers to take a look at those resources. And throughout the quarter, we had them identify the activities or evidence that they took part in order to work towards their goal. And of course, it was color-coded. So including, our whole staff goal was increasing student engagement. So our team meeting activities, they recorded how they progressed towards their goal there. What is some practices that they used in their classroom, in their lessons, and they reflected on that, on how they moved closer to their goal. Extension activities, what did they do above and beyond the goal, doing some additional research. And then independently, what are you doing? How are you learning more? Here in this instance, the teacher read a book. Some teachers joined Twitter chats, some followed specific and strategic leaders in the area of student engagement on Twitter, and then collected and gathered articles and resources that they shared with the group. So this was a way for teachers to keep track of their evidence and continue to reflect, and this also served as a way for leaders in the building to engage in one-on-ones with the team member, so we could take a look at their periodic growth and support them.